Hello and welcome. So I'm doing another Reddit video. I thought it would be fun to do one. It was a little while since I did the last one, and I wanted to wait until there were a few more posts online uh, before I did this again, just to make sure that there was some new stuff. Crocheting got me called in for a disciplinary meeting at work. I got called into my boss's office this morning. I was out last week with doctor confirmed COVID and flu. Oof. I was dead for the first couple of days, and the last couple of days I was awake for more of the day. Miss Boss went on for a couple of minutes asking about COVID sick days and vacation, and that's prohibited, yada yada. I sat there confused and then realised before she even finished the next line, one of the days I was home, my watch tracked that I did 20,000 steps. I forgot that we had an employee group on a step app, so when it synced, my colleagues saw that I did 20,000 steps and snitched. Guess how I got 20,000 steps with barely leaving my bed? That's right, I was crocheting. I printed out a post from the Apple community where someone clocked 20,000 steps crocheting and proof that I was home on the day in question. Pic of my 20k step whip. At least she's pretty. Let's have a look. That is really nice. That is a nice little crochet piece. I 100% know that this is true and that the OP isn't lying because I have a smartwatch myself and it always clocks when I'm crocheting. So, I mean, at least they were able to prove that other people have had this problem and their location data saying they were at home. Like doing 20,000 steps at home would be pretty difficult even if you're not ill, it would be pretty difficult to do. I'm hoping that they've not got in massive trouble over it just because they weren't out and about doing anything. My husband is making crochet impossible. I know this is silly, but it's pissing me off. I, 27F, wanted to start a new crochet pattern when we got into bed tonight. We normally TikTok or watch videos before we go to sleep to wind down, so I had my phone set up with TikTok and the crochet pattern on my tablet. I'm new to crochet, so I do have to concentrate a bit harder. The pattern started with something called a magic circle, where I had to count quite a few stitches into it. It disturbed me 3 times. I'm assuming she means that her husband did. He disturbed me 3 times, making me lose count and restart. On the third time, I told him, I need to count, just let me concentrate for a few minutes. He opened the AI chatbot thing on his phone and asked it to call out random numbers. I lost count again. Not a rant about the AI, it's about the husband. I was so frustrated I started crying. He felt bad and comforted me a bit. I restarted and got about halfway into my counting when he asked, Are you counting? I want to switch off the big light. You can use the bedside light, right? I told him it wasn't enough light. He complained that he can't fall asleep with the big light on. I know he's going to watch videos for at least another hour. I gave up. I dumped my crochet stuff on the bedside table and switched off the big light. I'm just frustrated. I can definitely sympathize with you on numbers being read out, making you lose your place when when you're crocheting. Like, I've not Thankfully, I've not got a partner who will purposefully read out numbers to put me off because she understands that I like to concentrate when I'm crafting. And yeah, that's not something that she would ever do. What a childish thing for him to do. How annoying. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to stop knitting so much? My 30M girlfriend 27F is really into knitting and has been long before we started dating 3 months ago. At first, it didn't bother me and I thought it was cool she had a hobby, but then I realised just how much she does it. Granted, she's not pulling out the knitting hook
Not a thing.
at dinner or anything, but it seems anytime we're watching TV together or just hanging out at her place, she's always working on some project. She said she needs to keep her hands busy and it's like fidgeting for her, but I severely doubt that she can be fully present. You don't have to pay attention when you fidget, and she literally always jokes she doesn't know how to count. She claims it's not all the time, but definitely more often than not. She argued that she can follow TV show plots just fine, but when I quizzed her on some details, she couldn't answer some of the questions, so I think my point stands. Then she said, if it's an important conversation, I obviously put my work down, but I think we have different definitions of what important means. I also told her I would like to be able to cuddle and physically interact with her during TV time. She said we can still cuddle, but it's literally not the same. I want her to be interested in me, not some pile of yarn. This might be petty, but I think I might feel better about it if she knitted things for me, but always seems to be bags or clothes for herself or like some random squares. She did make a pretty cute toy for my dog, though. That was actually nice. Anyway, I sat her down the other day and told her my perspective, and instead of being willing to compromise, she told me that I'm the one who's not listening to her and essentially called me an asshole. She's a great girl. I don't want to lose her over this, but also not sure what to do. AITA. Mild a-hole on this one, because while I understand wanting to have her attention and wanting to interact and cuddle and stuff while you're watching TV, she's been doing this for a lot longer than you've been with her. You went into the relationship knowing that she does this, and I feel like you've probably, I mean, I'm assuming some things here, but you've probably been bothered by this for a while, and you've let it get to a point where you just had a go at her rather than having a conversation and saying, can we have one night a week where you don't crochet while you're watching or knit while you're watching TV? You've obviously not paid an awful lot of attention to what she's doing because you called it a knitting hook, which to me says she's probably crocheting rather than knitting, but you haven't learnt the difference. And you've only been together 3 months. You're not necessarily going to know the difference after a short amount of time with someone, but I think it's indicative of the amount of paying attention that you're not doing. The the post was locked because people from r/crochet couldn't stop brigading, which I can definitely understand. I mean, ultimately, she's been crocheting a lot longer than she's been seeing you, and honestly, she might prefer the crochet. And then the last post for this video, I'm eternally thankful for knitting. It really got me through the hardest year of my life. This year I didn't get to a whole lot of knitting. Many months were spent picking up pieces of a broken me, but I did get some great sweaters out for myself, and I'm really proud of them all. Also, I'm plus size, so it takes me more time and effort to get a finished project. This doesn't include everything I knit, but it's all that I kept for myself or my partner, and a couple I started in 2023. So this is everything that the OP made in 2024 that, like she said, that she still has. That's a very nice photograph. That yarn is gorgeous. That's such a good jumper. Oh, I like that yarn too, and I like the contrasting edges. Mm. Ooh, cable knitting. See, I've tried cable knitting, I've done a bit, but I don't think I could commit to a jumper for of it, but it's lovely. That is so nice. Well, a cardigan. Oh, that's mm. I know I'm just cycling through the photos of the things that she's posted, but it's such a nice jumper as well. Very lucky partner she's got. Mm. So, yeah, I thought I'd end on a bit more of a wholesome one. Like, crafting can really help when you're going through stuff mentally. It really can help. A lot of people find a lot of solace and help in crafting, and I thought there was a really nice post and some really nice jumpers and cardigans as well. Like, well done. That's lovely. Thank you for watching. If you would like to find me elsewhere, then the link to my link tree is in the doobly doo below. Bye for now.